Hey, what's going on, everybody? Locked On Badgers. Great show today. One of the sharpest new voices on NBA Draft Twitter is coming on. We're going to talk Johnny Davis, Big Ten prospects, all that and more on today's Locked On Badgers.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I am Ryan Herrings, your host of Locked On Badgers. Once again, I am so thankful for everyone who has taken any time and listened to the show. The numbers are growing, and that's just reflective of really the type of guests we're able to bring on. I've told you guys from the jump, it's about building a community, a Badger community, and getting people smarter than me on the show to chop it up. I think we've done that again today. We're going to bring him on right now, Mr. Evan Townsend, who is on NBA Draft Twitter. Really one of the sharpest voices, new voices that I've seen. I caught him on the Locked On Big Board podcast. He's also part of Project Spurs. Evan, man, thank you so much for jumping on the show, giving us a little bit of your time to talk the draft and Johnny Davis.
Hey, man, thanks for the great intro. Happy to be here. And yeah, we'll talk all the nitty gritty with Johnny Davis.
Yes, I love it, man. I can't wait to get into it. Thanks again for everyone making this your first listen every day. And let's jump into it. I want to start. It's a Badger show. We're going to get into some bigger draft topics. We're going to get into some Big Ten guys, but I think the place to start is Johnny Davis. I want to ask you kind of a two-part big picture question to get started. What do you really like about his game, and what gives you the most pause with Davis?
So as of right now, I can be comfortable with saying that Johnny Davis is in the running to be the best wing in this draft, the best guard in this draft. He is a pure shooting guard. He's not a point guard. He's not a combo guard. He's not really a small forward. The modern NBA now isn't small forwards that are LeBron stoppers, but Johnny Davis has to grow quite a bit, has to fill out his body to be that role. But the biggest and the best comparison I've seen that I've gone and ran with is Chris Duarte. He reminds me exactly like him. A 3-level scorer, not too athletic, a pure shooting guard, but the kid's a bucket. I'm talking about Johnny Davis. Both him and Duarte are buckets, but Johnny Davis has superstar potential. I want to make that clear. Even if he falls out the top 10, he's still in the running to be in the first year rookie race or all NBA or how you want to put it, first team, second team. But that hasn't even started yet, that race that is. But when it comes down to it, like there's no one that can say that he's not in the running to be one of the best wings. I can't give you all the stats. I can't give you what can translate to the NBA. But the one thing that I guess that's kind of scaring me off is his ability to play on ball in situations where it's just like, okay, we need you to be bringing the ball up court. We have a lot of guys that are bigger wings. Let's say it's the Bucks, right? Say it's a taller Bucks team. Have to play point guard, and on ball is not his strongest duties. Yes, he can dribble drive, snatch back, step back three, bottoms. You can shizzle drive, Tyler Hero, shizzle drive into the lane, mid-range, turn around, swish. That's going to be there. But right now, his game isn't limited, but people are going to know his 6 to 7 go-to moves that he has. And if he's athletic, he can get to the rim. It's not really a struggle, but it's being able to put it all together like at a consistent rate. There's games where he was on fire, shooting 80%, 11 for 14. And there was games where it started off maybe 0 for 7. You know what I'm saying? So I have faith in him. I don't really see his fit with the Spurs, where he's been linked to a lot. We'll talk about that later. I would love to see him in the New York market. He has that killer dog mentality that New York fans would love. And, you know, obviously he was a top 6, 7 guy around March, and he had a lot of great moments throughout the season. And at the beginning of the season, he was like in the 80s, 90s. Like, granted, he had not the best freshman year, and but he was given the reins on a weaker team, and he led them and did anything and everything he could. So,
and I want to go there. Is his shooting percentages from deep? He shot around 31% from 3, not great, but he did shoot about 80% from the line. So I think the shooting will translate. But for a guy who has to carry such an offensive load, right? That Wisconsin team he was on, and the listeners on the show know better than anybody, was pretty limited offensively. And Davis, as the season wore on, was getting blitzed on pick and rolls, 2 or 3 guys coming at him. A wall was getting set up. In a way, I think it's listen, the athletes at the NBA level defensively are insane. We all know that. But he's not going to be seeing 2 or 3 guys coming off every dribble handoff in the NBA. And I think that space is going to actually allow him to shoot better. I'm curious on your thoughts on that.
Oh, yeah. So he's not going to be a first option, at least right away. That is like, I don't see him going in the top 6 unless he has a killer workout, which could make sense. It seems like Sacramento needs a shooting guard. Indiana needs a shooting guard. Granted, there's better fits there on the first half of the lottery or the top 10, that is. But Johnny Davis, I'll make this clear again. He's a pure bucket getter. This guy will average 20 points per game 3-4 years from now. He will be in the running for like all in these rookie year contests, rookie of the month type of scenarios, because his you won't be able to stop him one-on-one if he has somebody that's not a crazy lengthy like a solid wing, a speedy wing, or anyone that's not like a LeBron stopper. I'm gonna use that term a lot here today to get ready, but there's a lot of just excitement I have for this kid, and he can go to Portland, maybe. I could see that. I know they're trying to maybe to swing that to somebody else. I could see New Orleans, and dude, let me tell you, the Spurs have so many draft picks. They have so many assets they can move. If we move on from one of our shooting guards, small forwards, Vassell, Primo, you bring in Johnny Davis, who's already better than Primo. No offense to him. He's a great guy. Love his game. Johnny Davis will get you 15, 16 points guaranteed as a rookie. He will on not average, but like on outbursts. Like Primo had,
absolutely,
6, 7 turnovers in the G League, and it's just because his handle's too loose. But he's working on his own ball game. Johnny Davis, we know he's a shooting guard. We know his game is established. Not a great defender, but a solid defender, and he measured the exact same as Benedict Mathurin. People are saying, "Oh, Benedict Mathurin's a three-guy defender. Johnny Davis is only 2." No, the exact same.
Right.
And still grow. We'll see what can happen there. So yeah.
Here's the other thing too, and as Wisconsin fans, we know this. This is where we all have biases, right? You have biases, I have biases. I'm a Johnny Davis guy, but when you watch him play every day, Davis has, and I don't know if the national guys have fully picked this up. I've seen some of the reports. Rafael Barlow talked about this. Davis has, and you mentioned it too. He has a dog in. Like, Davis gives a crap, quite frankly. Just to put it bluntly, right? And those dudes in the NBA, if you have enough size and you have enough skill and you give a crap, those dudes are going to be successful. And maybe that's successful as a high-level role player. Maybe it's a third option on a good team. But I have no doubts that Johnny Davis is going to not be a bust. Let me put it like that.
Yeah,
and it's because of the intangible side of it. Does that, in your mind, give him a boost? Do you bump him up a little bit because he's going to give a crap? He's not going to take days off.
It depends on the teams, man. So I'm going to break this down for you. About 2/3 of the league don't have cap space to spend on free agents, like actual, like they're below the cap, or they only have like 5 or 6 million to mess around with. That's not anything, right? So what are they going to do? They're going to try and get off some of these contracts, use all their draft picks, and move up to in the 6, 7 range, maybe up to 2 with Sam Presti, maybe up to 3 with the Rockets. Raphael Stone was talking, we're weighing all options. No, you're not, dude. You're leewaying to try and see what you can get for Banchero, or trying to get John Wall and Aaron Gordon off you. You know what I'm saying? All that. I'm not buying that stuff. So when it comes down to it, there's teams that could be higher on an Ousmane Dieng. Say the Cavaliers move up. I don't see that happening, but say they do. They're a fringe playoff playing team, right? They surprise a lot of people. You bring in one more wing, you get rid of a dead weight contract, you get rid of somebody who doesn't want to be there, and boom, you're not only back in the swing of things, but you really helped your team, and you just give up a young guy that may not work out next year or the year after. And literally, teams know that. It's the same scenario with the Spurs. Everybody knows we want to get rid of Doug McDermott. Everybody knows we want to get rid of Josh Richardson. That's a max contract between them two. It's going to be a lot harder to get them off, because as soon as we bring in someone who's just as valuable in terms of their skill set that's on a better contract, we will get better and we will make shit happen. Teams that are promising Johnny Davis first round, there's probably like 5 or 6 of them. There's probably a little love this guy and want this guy to be a second, third option year one, give him 18, 19 minutes and see what he can do. Yes, it might be rough at first, but yes, he'll have Trey Mann type explosions. He'll have Chris Duarte type explosions in terms of offense. And listen, if this kid can put it all together, I'm telling you, he'll be in the running. Not say like he'll have a top 3 candidacy, but his projection is like a Jordan Poole. It's like a Darius Garland in the second or third year. He'll be getting 5 or 6 votes for most improved player because, man, people are going to have to press up on him. And if you don't, you have to respect his range. Let me tell you, Johnny Davis, like I said, is a bucket, man. Is a bucket. Any team would die to have him.
So let me wrap up on this first segment with this. I've seen him mocked and checking out a lot of mocks, NBA Draft and CBS, ESPN, tons of them. Walter, I've seen him everywhere from 6 to 20. I mean, that's kind of the range I've seen. The high range is 6, the low range is 20. Where, if you had to say he's going to go narrow down to like a 3-pick selection, like 11 to 14, 7 to 10, what range is he going to go in your opinion?
So I'll say 8 to 12. I'll say 8 to 12. I don't think that New Orleans is going to pass upon them unless they trade out that pick.
And they're picking 8. Just if everyone's falling on, yep, they're picking 8.
Orleans is picking 8. They just need a pass first point guard. Okay. Zion just got approved, right? He's playing next year. Like he's playing next year, right? Even though he's not on the ticket bill, right? Let's imagine this: get a pass first point guard that can lock up as a point of attack defender, Dyson Daniels, or Johnny Davis, and just say, hey, man, let's work on your playmaking and just feed CJ. Learn from CJ.
Right.
Learn from Zion. Hey, Jonas Valanciunas dump down, slip down, pick and roll. Let's make it happen. That he can work there. Spurs can possibly trade out of 9. I've heard a lot of rumors that the Suns love Torrey Eason. A lot of teams want to move up to get that last power forward that's rotation ready. A Suhan, a Torrey Eason. So if we trade out of that, we could maybe leverage a team to get Johnny Davis at 9. That would make a lot of sense. The Knicks are at 10. Listen, the RJ Barrett is a small forward. That's the perfect build. The Josh 6'6", 6'7" build that makes sense as a small forward, right? Johnny Davis is the perfect shooting guard in the New York market next to RJ Barrett. Both solid defenders, not great, solid defenders. You get a point guard, a Jalen Brunson in the sign and trade with Julius Randle. You give Obi Toppin 25, 26 minutes. You get a power forward, a Boucher, somebody in free agency. Bring back Mitch. Sign somebody as a center. Who cares? Mo Bamba, who's trying to recruit Spider on IG Live.
Yep.
Not the Knicks are back, but boom, you just fixed them just by grabbing Johnny Davis. That's the X factor there, because Johnny Davis pushes the needle, and Cam Reddish, and Emmanuel Quickly. That team, let me tell you, that would be a fun team to watch.
It would have juice.
And Tom is going to make sure they play defense, and Tom is getting a lot of heat. I have a lot of friends that are Knicks fans now. Join a lot of their spaces. I see fire Tom. Ooh, military, that doesn't work. That type of coaching. We need a player coach. No, you need to make sure you guys are getting back on defense and actually hustling out and these extra hustle points. I don't care. I'll wrap this up quick. I don't care what people say about the new modern NBA and the Steve Kerr, Steve Nash coaches, Jason Kidd. Listen, it works and varies for different teams. The New York mentality, like I said earlier, it screams some guy like Johnny Davis. If he was there, everything would make all the sense in the world for them to actually start pushing to make stuff happen.
No, I think they would love him in that market. All right, guys, coming up. We're going to keep Evan on the show. I say this all the time with the guests, the smart ones, as long as humanly possible. So we're going to come up next. Listen, we're going to rank the Big Ten prospects, the top 4. Where would he take them? Where does Johnny Davis fit into that mix? But first, today's show is brought to you guys by Built Bar. I talk about it all the time. Built Bar is just the best nutritional sidekick that I've found for a long time, quite frankly. I had one this morning, and we all want to look a little better. We all want to feel a little better. We want to look a little more like Evan, in shape, ready to go. If you're going to do that, Built Bar is a great way to accomplish your goals, guys. 20 grams of protein per bar, 100% real chocolate, but it tastes great. It tastes like a candy bar. I've told the story several times now, but my kids raid my Built Bars because they think it's candy bars. And in low-key, I'm like a dad tricking him into eating healthy, so I kind of feign anger, like, get back here with my Built Bar, but low-key, I know I'm winning. So eventually they'll figure that out, but you guys check out Built Bar. Go to the website, built.com. Promo code LOCKED15, LOCKED15. Get 15% off your order. So eat healthy and save money. Promo code LOCKED15, 15% off built.com. Thank you guys so much for making Locked On Badgers your first listen every day. When you're done here, go check out Locked On Sports Today. Biggest stories of the day, plus instant reactions, big game recaps. It's like ESPN or it's like Sports Center on the podcast for everyone listening on the Locked On Network. Everything you want, big picture wrapped up right there. And like, we're going to get back into it. Thank you again for making Locked On Badgers your first listen. Really appreciate it. We're going to bring Evan back onto the show. Evan, thank you again, man. I do want to give you a second here. Again, I really like what you're building on Twitter. I like your voice a lot, kind of growing in this industry. Where can people find what you're doing?
I'm mostly on Twitter when it comes down to NBA draft discourse. It's just at Evan Townsend _. That's really it. I try and keep it PG-13 for the most part. A lot of people don't really respect the hot takes I have every now and then. I'm not just gonna let everyone rebuttal. You know what I'm saying? Call me out my name. So you'll see. So, like I said, PG-13. You know, I want to give a fair warning. But literally, I love this. This hobby, man. When it comes down to it, I treat this like it's school. And yeah, we'll get into all that and what we can talk about later. But appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no, of course. I want to get into the Big Ten prospects because I think this is a really interesting group, primarily at the top, that I want to talk about with EJ Liddell, Jaden Ivey, Keegan Murray, and Johnny Davis. I want to start here big picture. Evan Townsend, there's a new expansion NBA team opened up in Fargo, North Dakota, right? You're the GM. Okay, you got how would you rank these 4 prospects? Where would you 1 through 4? And is there a big tier gap in between some of them?
Are you adding Malaki to that?
Malaki? Oh, yeah, let's add Malaki. Yeah. Let's do 5 then. Yeah, that's great.
I'll have to say Jaden Ivey, number 1. I don't want to say it's close, but like he's in his own tier. Jaden Ivey, the John Morant comparisons don't make sense. He's a hybrid guard, more like Donovan Mitchell, with like the flair of like a Darius Garland, Terry Rozier types of ball skills, the hooper type of comparison making last summer. I thought that was hilarious. But literally, Jaden Ivey, he will be I don't want to say a superstar already, but he will be a star in this league. He just screams it. All he has to do is establish a mid-range game and literally stop being a pesky fouler and start going all these reaching fouls on defense. So yeah.
So he's 1. Who do you got at 2?
2, I'll have to go Johnny Davis. Like I said earlier, when it comes down to actually making sure you can get a bucket and a clutch one, he'll add more to his bag. You know, there's a lot that I'm not really concerned about when he's getting to the lane. He's not the most athletic guy, but I'm buying his flow game. I'm buying his ability to stop and pop, change directions, Euro, fillet. Nope. That's Johnny Davis, man. And like, I love his like his mentality. Like I said, it all just makes sense for him just to be a guaranteed, like you said, a guaranteed solid role player that's going to be in the league for at least 10 years, man. So at 3, this is where it gets spicy. I'm gonna go Malaki.
Wow. That is spicy. I like it.
I'm gonna go Malaki solely because Malaki is a 3-level scorer. He's younger. He's a better defender, not than Keegan Murray, but he's a better defender than the first 2 guys, right? And right now, I have him 12 on my board, I believe. I don't have I'm using my phone to record. That is, but right, I have him. I think his best fit will be with the Cavaliers. Literally, they have not really a hole at the shooting guard because Colin Sexton could come back. Add Malaki there, some guy who's a solid defender, not as good as Colin, but let me tell you, is that next to their recent draft picks and what they have building for the future, that's going to be one of the more young and exciting teams. And like he's already, like I said, a 3-level scorer. He doesn't have the solid as on in-depth leadership as Johnny Davis. But I'm right now, man, I can see him being like a first team, second team, all rookie, just because he's a bucket getter. He'll surprise a lot of people, like Herb Jones, like Chris Duarte, like Trey Mann, and having crazy games, crazy stat lines. And listen, he's a guaranteed lotto guy. Like, look at all the boards. Malaki is not in the top 20 anymore. He's top 15 lock. It just makes all the sense in the world for him to be a rotation-ready guy in a team that's already a playoff fringe 18. What if he's with Charlotte or he's with Cleveland? I don't think he fits with the Spurs, right? There's a lot of other better options with that. But let me tell you, any team in that level.
Let me stay on Malaki for a second. Why do you think it took teams a while to catch up on him? Because he's a guy that has that helium. He's a later rise.
He basically had what's the comparison I like to make? He blew scouts socks off in March, and when obviously it didn't end the way they wanted to, right? But there's so many avenues you can take for someone who's that young, and you can build upon that. Somebody who's already a put together player that's 3 level scorer. You can only add too much to him. You can add his shoulders, you can add his strength, you can add his confidence, and as
Mhm.
8-year-old, 19, 20, 21, 22, where is he at? Is he an all-star already? Literally, like that's where people that's where scouts, in my opinion, because I only talked to a few and I can't go into depth here, but like he definitely got a first round promise. He definitely is going to be performing well at these private workouts. And when it comes down to it, if he falls, someone's getting a dog and a steal in the 18s, 19s, 20s. Spurs, hello, move up. We that's where we can, so
Right. Well, and he's definitely a guy who I think for most of the year on his own team, EJ Liddell overshadowed him, right? Had more hype coming into the year.
yeah, but we'll talk about EJ Liddell now, but just know I have Keegan Murray ranked ahead of
Oh
him.
yeah, no, that's perfect. So you got, and that's how I would rank it too. I think I'd be a little lower on Malachi, but I have Keegan Murray. I would have Keegan Murray ahead of Malachi. I just
Yeah,
think the upside is higher with Malachi, but I think people have beaten up Murray a little bit too much with the questions of athleticism. I think he's going to fit great. But I'm curious on your take on Murray.
so it's not just the athleticism, dude. It's literally I want you to imagine rookie year Tobias Harris. Do you remember him?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Remember him? Solid prospect.
Yep.
Mid range there. But hey, can he get to a spot when he can only go one direction? He's ambidextrous. Yeah, he can go left, he can go right, but teams know where he favors. Teams know after the first and second week when he was actually like killing teams, when he was having these crazy scoring outbursts, 30, 30, 35, 27 points. Listen, after that calmed down and after they got a read from him and they could weed out who's different, Chris or Keegan,
Right.
literally literally, teams were just like, man, we got to lock this dude up. But granted, the Big Ten wasn't the best in terms of having solid wing defenders this year. I didn't really watch a lot in terms of right away. I had to date back into logging the synergy and watch a lot of these matchups. When it came
Mhm.
down to it, Keegan Murray is not limited in college, but he's going to be limited in the NBA. He's just just like Tobias Harris. Let me 30 seconds here. I made this quick. If you are not athletic and if you cannot burrow your way to the lane, I don't have his weight in front of me. I don't have his length in front of me. I'm glad he was at the combine. Good for him. He showed you want to play ball. You're a top 7 lock, right? Where do you think is like the best fit for him? If he's going top 7, is it Indiana? Is it Detroit? Is it Sacramento? So let's put him in that situation. You are going to be next to Sabonis, Miles Turner, maybe. They're
Right.
working on a trade, maybe with DeAndre Ayton. We'll talk about that later. Or Portland or whoever, or Detroit with whoever center they have, right? People are going to know you're going to want to score. You cannot play make. You cannot pass out of a double team. So what are they going to do? The average Markeith twin or brother, the average PJ Tucker, the average Check Diallo, somebody with length, someone with size. We're going to press up on him, and he's literally going to back up because he's not strong, and he's big, and he's going to try and rip through Chris Paul to get a shooting foul. No one's buying that anymore, and literally he can burrow his way to the lane. He can Kevin Durant elbow his way to the lanes. He has length. But dude, his ability to stop and pop. That's all you can do. That's literally in the 8 to 10 mid range fadeaway. That's all you can do in the NBA. And college is different. In college is so different. But
For sure.
yes, he can get to the lane. Yes, he can finish left and right. But teams are going to be hunting that, and they're going to be pressing him on this man. I'm not going to let no freaking rookie get up on me. Oh, we're pressing that. We're pressing that. We up on you. We up on that. You know what I'm saying? And literally, if he gets taken out of his game the first 2-3 weeks, does he have that mentality to keep it going? Does he have that mentality to refresh, rebrand Anthony Edwards, Jalen Green, killer mentality? I'm not saying he does it. It depends on the team. And he's not going top 3. He's not going top 4. Why do you think he's never in the consideration? Why do you think he's never actually been someone that's linked to a team that makes more sense for someone that's has an established game that can actually play defense and you know what you're going to get out of them? Because everyone's that much better. They're that much more athletic. They have that much faster of a first step. And literally, when it comes down to it, he's going to be a solid guy. He will be a solid role player in this league. I don't want to give him another comparison besides Tobias Harris, who has all-star moments, who has 25, 26 per game moments, but also
has earned a max contract in his career.
And bro, listen,
I'm not saying that's the best barometer, but
these 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" power forwards that can shoot, Michael Carter Williams, these guys that can get hot, that are demigods, that are unguardable, and that have deep bags, that are 3-level scorers. That's Keegan Murray one day, if he can get to the lane, if he can establish. Not the best isolation scorer. He really isn't. And listen, teams would want to run that for him because if he's coming off of screens, if he's coming backdoor cuts, and if he's flashing off of a pick and pop or even a dribble handoff, teams are going to be ready because he's not going to pass. They know he's going to try and shoot. He's going to score. And if it's a motion team, keep the ball moving, whatever you want to call it, weave, two-man action, two-man game. Listen, they're gonna see it coming because he's gonna have the rookie eyes, the rookie mentality. I'll buy him knowing the playbook. I'll buy him knowing what he's supposed to do. But man, once it gets ripped 1 or 2 times, I'm telling you, it may be rough, and that's why I have him below some of these guys, because if he's just gonna be a solid role player for some of these teams, not a second or third option, the first or second year, because it's gonna get shut down once somebody that is a lockdown defender is pressing upon him. You can't take him lightly. You got to respect the shot. It could get rough, man. It really could. And listen, we've seen plenty people exceed expectations. I'm not going to name any guards. Let's start with the big man. Triple J exceed expectations. He had a lot of limitations. Jaylen Brown exceed expectations. Jason Tatum, he sped things up. Where does Keegan Murray fall into this? It's on him, and it's on the team he goes to. Right. So that was a too long Keegan Murray spiel.
It's good. That's why you're here.
I was at it with this other guy yesterday who was like, "How dare you call Keegan Murray this and that?" And he didn't even hear what I said when the quote that was people were tweeting about. But yeah, man, I'll keep it real when in my opinion when it comes down to these players, and I'm not afraid to say what I really feel will translate to the NBA. And if he doesn't have that killer mentality, if he doesn't have the right team to push him to his limits and to work on what he needs to year one, maybe diminish his role, 14, 13 minutes, run with the second unit. We don't need you with the first. That all matters, man. It really all matters.
Well, and I'll put this out here too, because Murray, to your point, we agree. He's not a top 5, top 6 pick, right? Although I've seen him mocked that high. But I think if a team's taking him at 8, 9, 10, and you get a good solid role player in year one, that's a win. When you look historically at the NBA draft, most guys pick 9, 10, 11. Just see what happens. If you get 12, 13 solid minutes out of Murray year one, that's kind of a win for a good team, right? And then you can build them on slowly. I want to finish with this, talking about the Big Ten guys. 5 years from now, one of these guys is an all-star. One is a great role player. One of them's out of the league. That's tough, I know, but listen, we're here to keep it real. And obviously no one's holding you to this, although I'm going to put this in my Twitter tag. So we are going to hold you to this. But
oh, man. Out of the league?
Or I shouldn't say that because obviously nobody wants it, but massively underperforms expectations.
His answer is EJ because of his size. But let me make this clear. This is a Wisconsin podcast. Ohio State fans, they may, or vice versa, people may or may not want to hear this. EJ Liddell may damn near be the best shot blocker and rim protector from this class.
At 6'7", which is wild.
No. Jalen Duran has some shot blocking abilities, but he's a shot hunter. Walker Kessler averaged how many blocks? 4 or 5 a game? He's a shot hunter. He's a shot block hunter. There'll be a lot of fouls there.
Yeah.
Like literally, Jalen Duran would damn near jump over somebody, and Walker Kessler's body.
He's nuts.
Foul. So, listen. If EJ Liddell was I like him in Denver. Jokic needs some rim protector.
Absolutely, he does.
Like he can. He's not the best wing defender. If he can lose a little bit of weight, work on hit some salsa dances, salsa lessons. You know what I'm saying? Get that hip fluidity. He can. I can see him being a 4-3, and the best small ball 5 that's in this rookie class. Because let me tell you, man, I forgot how high he jumped. I think it was 38 inches. This dude is a spring. This dude, come here, give me that pin. It's crazy. And I'm just like, dude, at that Eric Pascal, Draymond build, he's a little chunky too. It's that can be pushed out the league, but that can also just be, what I'm saying?
I feel like now you're discounting your original point of the guy most likely to underperform. You got to pick one.
But like like the league is transitioning. Obviously, I'm not going to say he won't work on his weight. Guys like Kenny Lofton, who are 6'5", 2 whatever, could find a way to make it in this league just because they're a bucket, just because they know how to utilize their body. Fun fact: my first ever game I scouted, it was USA versus France in the FIBA 2 years ago, last summer, one of the two, I forgot, it's on my head. I was watching to see the Chet versus Wemby matchup.
Yep.
Kenny Lofton stole the show. His 6'5", Tonka 260, 270 behind with the long sleeves stole the show. Guys like that find their way in the league if they are a bucket and if they know how to play basketball. If they have a high basketball IQ.
Right.
They stay down. They know how to close out. They know how to not foul. Guys like Torrey Eason, guys like Jeremy Sohan, sorry. They're Energizer bunnies. They slap the foreman to get on there. Football player mentality, fullback. And they get in foul trouble. Would you rather have that or an EJ Liddell? A lot of teams definitely want to take the higher end, Jeremy Sohan, Torrey Eason. But a lot of teams in the later lottery that don't have no choice, they're just like, you know what? Why even risk moving up to get someone like that when we can work on somebody that is more of a, not in the sense of project pick, later in the rotation, maybe throw him in the G League the first 6-7 games, see what he has, see what his confidence is, and then boom, later in the rotation, maybe in the playoffs, we'll see what can happen.
I don't know if you answered it though.
What? It's
EJ Liddell, but it seems like EJ Liddell with a lot of qualifiers, which is totally cool.
And it could be Malaki. Malaki to me.
I actually think it's Malaki. I think it's
Malaki may not be ready for a rotation. Like I don't want to say it's a Moses Moody type of scenario, and with like the Warriors, and he gets like plugged in the craziest moments, and he either exceeds or he wets the bed. But literally, I can guarantee you, if he were to be with a team like Charlotte has James Book now, but he may not be there. They can swoop him away and PJ and JT Thor for a center. They can do anything and everything because they have 2 top 15 picks, and that might be the most dangerous team. If they had a top 6-7 pick, they would have been Lee Wayne. They would have had everyone calling in the phone, and that's where all these intangibles. I'm going off here, but that's where all these intangibles of who's going to be trading in, who's going to be trading back, who's going to be doing this and that, all come into play. And listen, a lot of GMs don't respect one another. A lot of GMs don't pick another GM's calls. A lot of people that want to be in part of this 4 or 5 team trade, they might get screwed over. Man, they have somebody that gets bought out, somebody that they don't want. Let's see here. Who's disgruntled? John Wall, more on the lines of someone that's Julius Randle's mindset that not is worth Julius Randle money. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, and here's the thing. Russell's going to get traded. I can see Ben Simmons getting moved. I can see Paul getting moved. I can see Zach LaVine saying, screw it, let's go to the Lakers. I can see all these things, all these crazy scenarios that change everything. And listen, these rookies are good. Obviously, the Chicago and whatever team they messed around with, the lost 2 of these picks, that messed up some money. But these rookies are gonna benefit off that. Some of these rookies are gonna be in better situations. They're gonna be packaged on this deal. They're gonna be with championship teams year 1 with 2 or 3 other guys that aren't getting minutes, and they're just gonna sit and chill and earn their way and learn their way from a superstar, man. And that could be Malaki. That could be
situation matters incredibly.
Exactly.
I want to finish on this, and again, thank you so much for the time, man. It's been awesome and enlightening. Again, the goal is always to bring smarter people on the show than me, which again, you qualify in that for sure. Do you collect cards at all? Are you in the hobby?
I was.
Okay.
I was not expecting you to talk about that.
Let me tell you why I went there. So we have a show coming up that I was talking to a guy in the hobby about the collectability of Johnny Davis. You know, what's a strategy to get in? Again, if you believe in him, what's a strategy to get in on rookie cards? I wanted to ask you, and I think even if you don't collect, this question is very, very valuable. because players have become kind of like stocks, right? You're buying into players. So for you, who is the player in this draft, the one player that is most overlooked? If you were to buy stocks right now, because obviously it's easy to buy stock of the guy who's getting picked first overall, but all that stuff's expensive. Who's the guy that's getting picked late that is going to most outplay his expectation in this draft class?
I'm going to give you two names. Ousmane Dieng and MarJon Beauchamp. MarJon Beauchamp is a top 10 talent. MarJon Beauchamp is the crazy athletic build that already has an established game. He just needs to put it together and has to stop being so sloppy. Stop having the ball dribble off his foot. Stop having a high dribble. Stop shot hunting when you're double teamed and greedy when you're hot. MarJon Beauchamp could play 1 through 3 one day in the NBA. And MarJon Beauchamp can dunk from the third hash with ease. With ease. He can fly across the lane. Ousmane Dieng, people ridicule me for saying this. People think that, how you can say that just because they look the same or they have the same type of measurements. I'm buying it just because I watched damn near every single game the last 20 games. Ousmane Dieng has all the superstar potential as someone in the top 5.
And where is he getting mocked at? Where is he?
I've seen him at 8. I've seen him at 15. I've seen him at 25. I've seen him in the second round with people who don't like him. Literally, there's so much potential with someone who is a 6'11" demigod, who's a wing, guard like intangibles, cross chain, step back, swish. Being able to 2-dribble drive and literally like Julius Erving your way to the lane and just like a slender man, use your length. Listen, in transition, a demon. Defense, it's like that 5-star mentality. He's from France. He's playing for the Breakers in New Zealand. He may not want to be there. He may have wanted to work his way to America or the G League or something like that. At first, it was really rough the first half of the season. He was in this 3 or 4 guard lineups that didn't make sense, and he was the small ball 5 or the 4 at an 18-year-old 190. I'm 190. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't make sense when you're bumping against 7 foot.
Right.
And like, listen, there's so much potential with someone that can fill out. If this guy were to be a Spur, we filled out Keldon Johnson in 2 or 3 years. We call him Big Body. We filled out Lucas Simons, his bust. Yeah, he's a bust. We filled him out in 2 or 3 years. He's solid now. Ousmane Dieng can literally be Giannis in 4 or 5 years. Like the same projectile, the same. Yes, he can't finish at the rim right now. That's Ousmane Dieng. It's just like the finger rolls. He goes for the floaters. Right. It's a lot of these small things. But let me tell you, if you're in the card game, if you're in the collectible game, any NFTs, anything, man, Ousmane Dieng with the right team will be scary, man.
I'm going to eBay right now. I'm gonna. Hey, that is awesome insight, man. And again, we really appreciate you having on the show. Everybody, Evan Townsend, follow him on Twitter. We're going to link all that in the show as well when we put it up. Thank you so much, man, for the time. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for having me. It was a great time, and I'm looking forward to coming out. And if anybody has anything to say, feel free to add me. I will 100% respond to you. We're going to keep it PG-13, keep it coach and respectful, but literally, hey, I'm not afraid to respond to anything. So appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it. We'll do it maybe after the draft as well. I'd love to chop it up with you when we see where everyone lines up.
Definitely. I'm down to come back, man. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you so much, Evan. Evan Townsend, everybody. Today's show is also brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline remains your #1 source for all your online sports betting information, news, online Vegas games, roulette, blackjack. It's an easy-to-use website. And if you have a read on sports futures, you know, where you think the NBA championship's going, if you have a read on maybe you think it's going to be the Celtics or Golden State, which looks incredible right now, NFL futures, if you got a read on who's going to win the NFC, the AFC, really BetOnline is your place to put all your sports information, that knowledge you've accumulated up in your brain to use. And it's fun. A couple bucks here and there, do it responsibly for sure. But if you have a read, we're all sports fans, we're all fanatics, we all nerd out on this. I'm telling you right now, I've said it for a while, the 49ers made the NFC Championship game last year with Jimmy Garoppolo. Trey Lance is better than that. So you can get really good odds on the 49ers right now if you want to. Head to the website today, BetOnline, where the game starts. Thank you guys again for making Locked On Badgers your first listen every single day. Appreciate you all so much for for helping build this community. And again, we continue to try to get better guests, new voices, new discourse. That's what it's all about. It's not about me. It's not about Locked On. It's about building the community. So we really appreciate that aspect of this. Thank you guys so much for joining on, and we'll talk to you later.